Howdy, y'all. We're back with another episode of Game Patrol, episode 40. Yeet. And back here with my boy Trace Griffiths. How you doing there, bud?
What's up?
Alright, we're going to do this. I'm going to see how long I can keep up this here accent. We're going to talk about some video games here today. And, get a little yeet and have a little fun times. So, hope y'all enjoyed. If you haven't already, go watch / listen to last week's episode. Had a good time with Matt and Bakel. Talked all about Valheim and a bunch of other stuff for almost 2.5 hours because we're crackheads. Yeet! And so we're having fun there. And so go give that a watch / listen if you haven't already. Last week's Game Patrol episode, real good time. Yeet! And so now, our main topic we're going to talk about today is I really hope y'all are watching the video version this week. If you, my podcast listeners, go check out YouTube because it's definitely a fun time here today. And so now we'll be talking about the PS5. 3 months in, it's been a long time that the PS5 has been out, and so we're gonna talk about this here console. I have it right over there, but I don't want to go get. Actually, I do want to go get it. Hold on. Trace. See, that time I did want to call you Bakel. I almost did. I will say, breaking character and everything. I almost did call you Bakel, but I feel like I didn't. You accused me of calling him Bakel earlier, but he's wrong.
You did.
I don't think. Maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe.
You were like, we were talking about something. You're like bagel, and then you just kept on going.
Now that I almost did it, now I'm starting to believe you. But
you stuttered, and then you just kept on going with your conversation, thinking that I wasn't gonna call you out on.
You could be right at this point. I didn't think so before, but maybe you're right. Anyway, stall them.
Stall them. All right. So, if you guys are watching the video, I feel horrible. I feel bad for you because this episode is probably just going to consist of him doing a lot of hat flicks like this. Just want to throw that out there, and I'm still trying to, I think he went to go grab his PS5. Yup, he grabbed his PS5.
I was trying to like not cause any damage or anything, so that was my main thing. Because I still have it plugged in and stuff, but I also don't have my TV, like it's out in the living room right now, so it's less hooked up. So, but yeah, so we'll talk. It's actually on right now. It's in rest mode, so y'all can see the
Rest
light.
mode could break it.
I haven't had any issues. Gabe told me he hadn't had any issues, so when I got it, I've had it in rest mode all the time, and I've had 0 issues. However, I've had some issues, but that are not related to rest mode that I'll get into here. But what were you gonna say?
Do you have GTA 5 on that?
I'm trying to think if I do. I don't think so. I don't think I own it on PlayStation, but I'm probably going to pick up the next-gen versions when it drops later this year.
The only reason I was going to ask is because I wanted to see the loading speed on it. Because I want to see if it's a lot faster than it is on the PS4.
It'll probably be a little bit faster just because of the SSD, but I don't imagine it's going to be insanely fast. I'm assuming they're holding that until the next gen versions come out. So I would wait to see until then. But I'm sure there's a video on YouTube comparing it, because that's a contested one about, because I know the loading speeds. I've seen loading speeds on Red Dead are a lot faster. So, it could be the same. And because Red Dead doesn't have a next gen version, it's just backwards compatible, but it's really fast. At least I don't think there's a next gen Red Dead yet. But anyway, let me get talking here about this PS5. And so, hardware-wise, thing's beautiful. It's my beautiful baby machine. That's why I'm holding her right now. I call her Bertha, and she's my sweet baby cake girl. I've never put her on her side because she needs to stand tall like the giant skyscraper she is. The disk drive though is. Dude, look at this here booty. Look at that. She said slim thick. Everybody.
Slim thick with a cute booty.
She got that booty fatter than Judy. You know what I'm saying? Alright. So, disk drive, by the way, it's loud as hell. Let me tell you that. So, disk drive is, I can't do this anymore. So, the disk drive is they're actually working on a system update right now that is supposed to fix all of those issues. There's actually a lot of stuff that I'm sorry. Because you're hearing bad stuff probably, Trace. Because
can hear
Trace
you
is hearing
fine.
me through my headset mic, whereas you guys are hearing me through my professional mic. So Trace probably got assaulted there for a second, but um, no. So
No,
the
because down. It was just like it went from a to a dead silent, and then when you put it on, it was just perfectly fine.
interesting. Well, look at that. That's that's the power of Cyberpunk, guys. Just saying, these are more Cyberpunk headsets, so that means Cyberpunk is game of the year. So if you don't believe me, you're just a hater. But
Just a mod hider.
you're probably like racist against Polish people or something. But
Did you say from Polish people?
yeah, CD Projekt Red, they're Polish.
Really?
Yeah. There's actually quite a bit of prominent Polish game developers, like Bloober Team, the team that came out with the Medium earlier this year, and a bunch of other horror games. They're Polish as well. There's some actually really prominent Polish video game developers. Believe it or not, the video game industry doesn't want you to know this, but most big game companies are not from America. Crazy stuff.
No way.
I know. It's like people do things outside of the U.S. America tries to hide that as much as possible, but
That's not true. That no, never.
couldn't be real. But
Right.
anyway, the disk drive is super loud. So when the PS5 first came out, you know, everybody's talking about how quiet it was, and I was super excited. Then when I got my PS5, it was loud as hell, and I was like, "What the heck is this problem?" Then I realized it's the disk drive, because I prefer physical media. I mean, let me just, I don't know if this is going to be good. I'm trying to set down my PS5, but I don't know if the cord's long enough. Okay, yeah,
I
we're
was
good.
gonna say you could stand up and I'll talk to your people.
No, you're good. Oh, I forgot. I moved it over here. I mean, literally, these are all of my physical games. Like, the entire middle section is PS5 games, and this thing came out 3 months ago. And so
Why do you buy so many games?
it's almost like I'm a content creator specifically for video games.
That I would have never guessed.
I mean, yeah, I have like 5 followers, but those 5 are loyal as hell, let me tell you. But, you know, I have a lot of physical games. I prefer physical when at all possible, because if they're bad, I can resell them. But, yeah, I try to prefer physical media, but I was using mostly physical games. I mean, the big game I was playing after I first got my PS5 was Demon's Souls and then Miles Morales. And so I had both of them on disc, and I would leave them in there, you know, so I would just be like watching something on my PS5 because it's now my main media device. And it would just, I just hear this loud, like, sounded like a fan kicking in. And I'm like, what are they talking about? This thing being quiet. This thing is so loud. And then I realized it was the disk drive. But they're working on a fix for it. They're coming out with a big system update, which includes VRR support. So for my techie nerds out there, this is a big deal, which I'm super excited about. For me personally, it's not a huge deal because I don't have a TV that supports VRR, and it's also at 60 hertz. But when I upgrade to 120 hertz VRR TV, hopefully, fingers crossed, this summer, I'm hoping, we'll see. It's gonna be a big deal. And so for those that don't know, VRR is variable refresh rate, and that is essentially when frame rate drops in games, when it isn't at a locked 60, 30, 120, whatever. Variable refresh rate helps smooth things out so you don't see chopping, and it's really, really nice. It's a huge deal when you have like low frame drops. Like if you're running at 60 FPS and it drops into the 50s, it's not noticeable at all with VRR, whereas you might notice it depending on the severity if you don't have VRR. And so it's honestly not necessarily a necessity, but it's really, really nice to have at this point where we're at in gaming. And so the Xbox Series X currently has it, and you know, PS5 is finally going to be adding it, as well as 1440 support and fixing this disk drive issue. So I'm excited about that. I'm curious to see how quiet it gets. But yeah, I was like, man, this thing is so loud. And then I realized, oh, it's because I'm constantly chucking discs in it. But, you know, other than that, it's mostly silent, and it's also a very cool machine. I've never felt this thing get all that hot. Like, it's been warm, don't get me wrong, but like I use my PS5 literally every single day. Like, after we finish recording this podcast, I'm gonna watch. I forget what it's called. The new theater at home movie. I just rented it. Oh, Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar because I heard it's really good, and so I'm literally gonna watch that on my PS5. So that'll I use it every day if I'm whether I'm playing video games or not, and I don't really have any issues in terms of like overheating, getting too loud. Besides, again, the disk drive, it's a solid piece of hardware, and the where it gets into the issues are where the software comes into mind here. And so before I get into that, I do want to say, like, overall I enjoy the software side of things, like the UI and all that stuff. That's not what I mean by that. I just mean there are some bugs. But let's talk about software in terms of games, because that's the big thing with the PS5, right? And so in terms of exclusives, I follow this one person on Twitter who is a proud Xbot. His words, not mine. And so he literally goes around trolling PlayStation fans every day. And I have been debating blocking him for a long time because it really is draining to see all this stupid console war nonsense. But it's also interesting. Like, it's kind of fascinating watching him work. Not that he's good or anything, like, not that he does any sort of, like, genius work. He's an idiot. But it's very fascinating to watch the brains of these console war people and just how stupid they are. But what was my point of this? Oh, so there are Xbots out there who claim that PlayStation has no games and Xbox is the best console, which absolutely blows my mind because I love Xbox, but Xbox has no games. But these Xbots are out here saying that PlayStation has no games, and they're making all these excuses, saying Demon's Souls is a remake, Miles Morales is DLC, no one cares about Ratchet and Clank, Returnal is $70 indie title, like, DLC. Like, they're just saying that everything's gonna be crap. They said the Destruction All Stars sucks, blah 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 blah. And it's nuts because at least we have games to say that. Y'all have the medium. That's it. But, and don't get me wrong, the medium is the best game I've played this year. So, again, I'm not trying to take sides here because I love everything. But that whole thing, Sony's got a hell of a lot of exclusives, and for a launch year, it's great. It is great to be a PlayStation fan in 2021. I mean, since launch, we've gotten Demon's Souls, Sackboy, Miles Morales. What else is there? Destruction All Stars. Yeah, we got the Neo Collection, which is an amazing collection of remastered titles and all this stuff. And, there's going to be even more. We've got Returnal and MLB in April. And, they just announced Ratchet and Clank in June. And what's another one? I feel like
Did GTA come out or something?
GTA's not exclusive.
Not GTA, 2K.
Oh, 2K. 2K's not exclusive either.
Oh, you're talking about just exclusive games?
Yeah. For right now. I'll get to third-party support. But, yeah, in terms of exclusives, they have a ton. I feel like there's a big PlayStation exclusive I'm forgetting about. Let me consult my huge library of games. Godfall. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, isn't Cyberpunk a third party or whatever?
Well, I mean, I shouldn't say third party because some exclusives are third party, such as Godfall. But I mean so in terms of non-exclusive third party games. But yeah, so Cyberpunk isn't even on next gen. You can play it via backwards compatibility, but there is no next gen version of Cyberpunk that's coming. Well, it is coming, but it's not out yet.
Right.
But yeah, but PlayStation has plenty of exclusives. They're not, all bangers, right? Like, Godfall is a little on the weaker side. Destruction All Stars has some work to be done, but Demon's Souls is an absolutely amazing game. And it's a game that Xbox doesn't have right now. Now, in terms of backwards compatibility, Xbox is absolutely killing the game. They released the FPS boost feature last week, and that's You can now play certain backwards compatible games at 120 FPS, and just all of the work they've done with back compat games on their systems is really, really great. Right? I think Xbox is easily the most accessible marketplace in gaming. But when you look at, these new consoles, these new generations, PlayStation is absolutely killing the game in terms of its offerings so far in, games. Like, the best game on the Xbox right now is either Hitman 3 or what's the other one? Oh, Tetris Effect Connected, which both are technically available on PlayStation. I say technically because Connected is an Xbox exclusive version of Tetris Effect, but that was originally a PlayStation 4 exclusive. And so Xbox doesn't really have anything right now in terms of new games, and hopefully that changes. I really hope that changes because, like I said, I love Xbox, and I would love a reason to buy their new console. It's just right now I don't. And so in terms of exclusives, PlayStation is absolutely killing it. Again, huge shout out to Sackboy. Go play Sackboy. It's an amazing game. God, I love Sackboy. Then moving on to third party support. Again, same great stuff like 2K, for example, that you mentioned. 2K is absolutely freaking beautiful on PS5. Also FIFA, just sports games in general look amazing on the PS5 and Series X as well. This isn't, just for PS5, but the things that they're pulling off already. And Observer System Redux is another big one that just looks absolutely phenomenal. But these third-party games are really taking advantage of these new systems. We just got news that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 are getting next-gen versions. That looks really, really great with ray tracing and all that. And yeah, I'm excited. I haven't gotten into it yet, but I'm thinking I might pick up this next-gen version. I'm like, I knew there was a reason that I never played this, and this is why. Now I'll be able to experience it in its all its glory.
I feel like it's going so far, but then it's just gonna drop off into a cliff, Like, I feel like Tony Hawk's put so much money into remaking it and redoing it and everything, and then I feel like it's just gonna it's gonna build up to a certain point and then just drop. Like, no one's gonna play it anymore. No one's gonna buy it anymore. It's just gonna go to dust.
I mean, I wouldn't really classify the Pro Skater games as something that necessarily gets continuous support, and I know that's a huge trend in gaming now, right? With Fortnite and Apex and all these other big multiplayer games that are so focused on, player retention and trying to get people. And then we've got games as a service like Destiny and Avengers that, they are trying to build this community and get people to keep playing their games. I don't really think Pro Skater 1 and 2 is that. I think it was a game that was like, hey, these are two games that are considered widely as some of the greatest games ever made. Not even sports games, but just games ever made. And we know people have been wanting more Pro Skater, but anytime we do it, it's garbage. So instead of making a new one, let's just, make these games amazing to play right here, right now, and give it to the people. And so I'm excited about this, right? And I think this is the best possible thing for them. They also announced a Switch version as well. So just making this accessible everywhere. I mean, right now, I think Stadia is the only platform that it's not going to be on, but I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. Honestly, though, maybe. But, you can play Pro Skater pretty much anywhere. And I think that's awesome, and I think that's all they really need to do. And I'm excited to see what the developer does next. I'm not sure... We'll get into it here in a little while, but, at the BlizzCon event, they announced Diablo 2 Resurrected, which was rumored to be what these people were working on, because they got, merged into Blizzard. Hold on. I think, yeah. Yeah, that is what they're working on. Yeah. So I guess I shouldn't say I'm excited to see what they're working on next because we do see it, but I'm excited to play what they're working on next because I am excited because Diablo 2 Resurrected looks dope as hell. Also, seeing the people this is an amazing remaking another amazing game gives me faith that that will also be a knockout of the ballpark, or a knockout of the skate park, I should say.
Good pun.
Anyway, yeah. So where was I going with this? But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily their point to try to stretch out. Obviously, it'd be great, but I think this was just sort of like their like big thing, especially since they are moving on to Diablo 2, right? Like they've got their own new project, and I don't think it's necessarily one, but I do think it will live on in terms of just fame and sheer like, hey, we got a pro skater game, let's do it. But yeah, you're right, and I don't think it's gonna be. I don't know, like I don't play a lot of skate games, so I don't know how modern skate games take that approach. If there are any skate games out there that like continuously release content and that sort of thing. So which I'm sure there's probably some out there. But
skate games, you have Skater XL.
the Skater XL like regularly release content and stuff.
Yeah, they. I want to say like a week or not like a week, like a month ago, they just opened it so they have mod menus, and now they're trying to get it so the game won't crash, because on console you can download mods but they sit there and then like it'll run the game for a while and then it'll just randomly crash when you're sitting in the mod menu too long.
Yeah,
and they're trying to fix that.
well, I mean, there's nothing for Pro Skater 1 and 2 devs to fix because it's perfect, so that's one thing. But I mean, yeah, so like that's not how the Pro Skater series really operated. It was a complete standalone thing that was like have fun, play it to your heart's content, and if you want more content, we'll have a new game at some point, and maybe we'll get another Pro Skater game down the line, now that this new generation has been basically introduced to Pro Skater. Maybe we'll see a new one, we'll see. But yeah, so anyway, plenty of third-party support for PlayStation. Excited to see what they do on that. And then, looking over on the software side to media, like I said, this is my main, media station, right? I use this all the time. I got the media remote finally. I ordered it, what was it? It was early January, and they told me it would come in a few days, and at the end of the day, it took, I think, 3 weeks for it to get to my house, but there was my house back home, so it was just sitting there for like almost a month until I finally was able to get it this weekend. So I finally started using the media remote. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to try to keep it brief, but I love that little thing so much. But yeah, I mean, this is a really nice, I especially love because I thought the UI of the PlayStation 4 was like garbage, specifically the media stuff, because about like having to go to a separate, like, you basically had to open a small app to access all of the different media apps, whereas the PS5 UI, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, you have like the games tab and then the media tab, but it's more distinctive in a sense that I just like it a lot better. I think it's a lot easier to access, media than it was on the PS4, and it's all in glorious 4K stuff. Although this isn't really the PlayStation problem, this is more the CW's problem. But CW, get some apps out there. Like, CW is pushing streaming and all this stuff, and they're like, yeah, it's available on our app and on CW.com, go stream it the next day. But you don't even have actual apps for like consoles and all this stuff. Like, give me a CW app. I was sitting here watching the premiere of Superman and Lois on my computer, and I didn't like that. I want to be able to watch it on my PlayStation like I do with everything else. So CW, if you're watching, which I know you're not, give me a CW app on PlayStation, please and thank you.
Or just on consoles in general.
I mean, I say that, really meaning like all consoles, but yeah, give us that CW app. If you're gonna push streaming so hard, give me, actually have a way for people to stream it beyond a computer or a phone. But yeah, so I really love the UI in general. I think it's super fluid, all that stuff. Again, 3 months in, I said this in my original review, but I think it's really tight. Now, as far as the stuff I was saying about issues, so I had one issue where this is just the other day. I started up the PlayStation 5 with DualSense, as I usually do, versus like pressing the power button. And then when the PS5 started up, it said press PlayStation button to turn on your DualSense or whatever it says. And I was like, but but that's how I started up the console. What do you mean? And then the DualSense just refused to connect to the PlayStation. So I was like, okay. So
my PS4 does the exact same thing though. Like I don't think that's. I think it's just a controller thing.
well, here's the thing. So I turned it back into off. Put it back into rest mode, turn it back on, and what I tried to do was do my usual, like press the PlayStation controller, turn it on. Wouldn't even connect to the PlayStation at all this time. So I was like, okay. So I shut it all the way down, turned it back on, perfectly fine. There we go. No problems. But there was some sort of syncing issue going on with the DualSense, and I was like, that's annoying. I know there's been a big thing about the DualSense drift. I have not experienced it at all in the 3 months I've had the console, but I know that is a thing out there. I'm trying to think. Every once in a while I have problems with media apps, and the reason I point the finger at PlayStation is because I'll close out the apps and relaunch them and stuff like that, and it won't do anything, but as soon as I restart the PlayStation, it works fine. So I don't know if it's some sort of Wi-Fi chip issue or something, but I have encountered some issues with that. I'm trying to think. I feel like there's something that I'm forgetting. Overall, nothing too serious. Just little annoyances every once in a while. I haven't had anything really break on me or stuff like that, but it's not a perfect system. But for those that like to nitpick, I will throw that out there. But overall, the vast majority of my time that I literally spend every day using, pretty infrequent issues. And so, overall, like I said, I love my PS5. I love it a lot, and that comes from someone who didn't like his PS4. I had a PS4 Pro for years, and I didn't enjoy it. The only reason I had it was for the exclusives. God of War is one of the best games I've ever played. I love the games on that system, but I hate the PS4. I don't like it. I love my Xbox. That's just how I rolled. Going into the PS5, I'm completely in love with it. So that is high praise coming from me.
Do you still have God of War actually?
I mean, yeah. I never had it physically. I bought it digitally, and then it's also offered through PlayStation Plus. So, but yeah, I didn't have it physically.
But the original God of War, or
no remake? I don't. I have God of War 3, but I don't have the first two. Actually, I think I did. I actually think I sold it. I actually did have the God of War collection on PS3. But yeah, I got rid of it. But I have 3 and quote unquote 4. But yeah, talking a little bit about the accessories. I love the DualSense. I've went on and on about that. It's one of those I'll play PC games from time to time, even though like I said, most of the time I'm on PlayStation, but I'll play some PC exclusive games or things that come with Game Pass and stuff with my Elite controller. And this thing is $180 or something like that. And I use it and I'm like, man, I wish I had my DualSense. I basically threw away $180 almost because I love the DualSense so much, and this controller, it's really nice. Don't get me wrong. I love my Elite controller. But in comparison to the DualSense, it's just so much better. And I've used the new Xbox controller, and I don't get I like it. I was a big person. I didn't like the DualShock. It's okay, but I prefer the Xbox controller. But this DualSense, man, it's so good. The adaptive triggers, it's something I miss. When I played the medium, I was I wasn't getting that resistance, and I was like, man, push against me, baby. Make me work for it. But it just wasn't doing it, and I was like, I don't know. But I love my DualSense a lot, and I'm hoping now that I'm hearing about this controller drift, I'm really hoping I don't have issues with that. Although I've been looking to pick one up. I'm trying to hunt down the charging station, and then once I get that, maybe within the next month, I'll pick up another DualSense. Because anytime I want to play co-op, I just go over to Matt and Bagels, basically, because they have DualSenses. Because I don't want to pick up one that's the same freaking color. Release more colors, Sony. We're 3 months in, and you still don't have colors. Also, one more thing that I forgot about with this big system update. We're supposed to be getting expandable SSD support finally, which I'm very excited about because I am constantly deleting games. So even though I can't afford it, I'm very excited to be able to buy an external SSD. But yeah, so that should hopefully be coming soon as well. But and then before I go, I have two things. Stall them for a little bit while I grab them.
Stalling. I, oh, what I was gonna say is I basically have like the new Xbox controller, and the only problem that I have with the new Xbox controller is the fact that it like some a certain buttons don't work. Like Y doesn't work all the time, and I think X. But other than that, I haven't had a problem with it. But
Well,
it's only on certain games too. And now I'm trying to find the controller.
I wonder if it's a game issue versus a controller issue.
It very well could be then.
I don't know. But I wanted to show off my baby boy, my baby media remote. Let it focus. Look at that. It's so cute. It's so wonderful. Now, like I said,
Yeah, for the PS4, PS5.
hell yeah, it is. This thing I absolutely love. I'm really mad at myself for waiting so long to go get it from home because again, it's so before I get super into it, let me temper expectations by saying yes. It is a media remote. It is a remote. It's not something life-changing. I know it, like I say I love this thing, but at the end of the day, it's a TV remote. That's what it does. But
I'm sorry, but I feel like I'd be pretty happy to get a to get a remote for a control or for a gaming system. I'd be pretty happy. I'd be like, I just got a remote.
That's not it. Like when I have this remote though, compared to other remotes I've used, this is a freaking awesome remote. I really love it. You can control your entire TV with this remote. It's got shortcut buttons for Disney Plus, Netflix, Spotify, and YouTube. It's super quick. It takes batteries, so suck it, Xbox. But it was super easy to set up, and I love it a lot. It's super nice. I can control the volume and mute and all that. It's got its own mic and stuff too, so if I want to, like, it's just it's very nice. It fits in my hand well, and like I said, it's my main media device, so I watch a lot of TV on my PS5, so it's very nice for me to have this. And Max Scoville from IGN said it best. I don't want to use two hands if I just am sitting there watching TV. I want to be able to lazily just grab my remote and flip to whatever instead of having to, like, yeah, just mess around with the DualSense. And so I love this thing. If y'all have a PS5 and have been thinking about getting the media remote, this is your sign to use it because I love it a lot. And yeah, there's my little media remote spiel.
So my question is that would that work for a PS4?
I think it does actually. I don't know for absolute certainty. The reason I say that is because the other thing is the headset, which I just recently picked up, the wireless headset, and this works on PS4. So I don't know for sure. Yeah, look it up.
Let me look it up. What's it called? The PS5 remote?
Yeah, I think it's called the PS5 media remote. So I think that might tell you right there. But it might work on PS4. I don't know. But yeah, this thing's really nice though. Let me talk a little bit about the headset. I haven't used it extensively, so these are kind of like first impressions thoughts. But it's really nice. It fits really comfortably. I had the Platinum headset before this. Still have it, but I broke the dongle, so I can't use it anymore unless it's wired. And so, but this is, my true wireless headset. It's got USB-C charging, which I appreciate because I just really hate using micro USB or, that sort of stuff anymore. Like, anytime I see someone switch to USB-C is a good day for me. But, the ergonomics of it are really nice. It's got the little strap here and everything. Super, super chic and all that fun stuff. I've used it for a few hours, so nothing too intense. But probably on Friday. Yeah, I'd say Friday I might use it some more. Probably over the weekend. Yeah, definitely over the weekend for sure. I'll use it some more. But
dang it.
Yeah, it's not for PS4.
It says, like this guy asked on Reddit, it says PS5 media remote on PS4 ... Will it work? And then he said, just wondering if anyone has tried the PS5 remote. I searched and I couldn't find anything relevant, and then somebody says it doesn't work.
Gotcha. I mean, I could legitimately test it out because I still have my PS4, but I'm gonna take that guy's word for it. But yeah, the Pulse headset, it doesn't do anything necessarily amazing, but I think for $100 it's worth your money, and it's always nice to have a wireless headset, and so good stuff for that. But yeah, I think overall speaking, the PS5, I would say it's a high 8, low 9 out of 10 as of where it's at right now. I think it's a great freaking console. I love it a lot. Oh, there's another accessory too. The webcam. I forgot about that. Let me go grab that one too, because I got it. Hold on. You didn't automatically stall, but the webcam.
Yeah, I didn't stall because I just got a Snapchat from my sister's fiance, and I kind of want to hear it.
All right.
So give me a minute.
Okay, you do that. But got the webcam, which is, I mean, it's good, but I mean, it's pretty basic. I more so like the functionality that it has compared to the like if you were to just set up a regular thing, like it functions well with the PS5. It works pretty well, but overall, it doesn't do anything super fancy schmancy. But again, for your money, it does the job. But also, I love the aesthetic of all of them, like the white and black, and all of them have the same ribbed coating in some spot, like where it has the XO square triangle. And so the media remotes is right here on the stand, or not the media remote, the webcam. The media remotes is on the back, and then the headset is on the inside of the the inside of the headset. There you go. Makes sense. Trying to think, are there any more accessories? The DualSense. I think the DualSense has it on the back, if I remember correctly. I'm not going to get up and go get it because we've all seen the DualSense, but I think it's also on the back. But yeah, they all have that print to it, and so just props to them for that. But anyway, great console. I love it a lot. And with that, let's move on to some gaming news. So there is actually a ton of gaming news this week, and there was a bunch of stuff that I would have liked to covered, but for sake of time, I cut some stuff out. So I'm only talking about the biggest stuff. And so first off, we're getting a State of Play tonight. It is at 5 p.m. Be sure to check it out if you're interested. But what to expect at this upcoming State of Play, they said it would last about 30 minutes. And they're going to talk about all sorts of stuff. What kind of things are we looking forward to here? I think there's definitely a chance we get an update on Rift Apart. In fact, I would bet on it because Insomniac teased that they were going to have some more information coming soon. So I'm not sure exactly how long, but I think we'll get a significant chunk of time dedicated to Rift Apart. Instead of some new trailer or something, I feel like we might get a little bit of a gameplay deep dive. Get at least a few minutes with it. And then, we could see some Horizon Forbidden West. I would believe, maybe a little bit. And also maybe something on God of War. And on one side, I could see it because we know nothing about this game, and they said it was coming this year. Like I said, I think it's a fat chance that it comes this year, but they did say it was coming this year, so it has to be fairly far along. So I could definitely see us getting a first full trailer of Ragnarok showing up tomorrow or tonight, but we'll see. But as far as third-party games, which they confirmed would also be there, we could get another look at Resident Evil Village. I personally don't think so. I think with their big showcase that they did not too long ago, that was about a month ago, but I don't think so. Maybe. I won't be super surprised, but Kena Bridge of Spirits, this is what I 100% expect to be there, and my guess, which I guessed a few weeks ago, and the longer we went without news, the more I am suspecting that this is going to be the case. I think Kena is going to be the free game for March for PS5 and PS4. because they said this was coming out in March, but we still don't have a release date. Either way, we're getting the release date tomorrow. Like, I am for sure that Kena Bridge of Spirits is going to show up at this State of Play tonight. I keep saying tomorrow because it's tomorrow for me. But, for you guys tonight, it's going to show up in some form, and we'll get the release date. My suspicion is that it's going to be the free PlayStation Plus game, which I'm happy for. Like, I definitely, but also I feel like it kind of deserves better. Like, I would, I think a lot of people would have paid for this game, but also, it's an indie game, basically. It's like a AA indie game, which looks really cool. I'm super excited for it, and, I'll definitely be checking it out, but it kind of makes me a little sad that it would launch into PS Plus, but, we could also see stuff from other indies like Goodbye Volcano High, and, Returnal is another third-party game. They just dropped a trailer, I think. I saw that there's a new trailer out, so that makes me think they aren't going to be at the State of Play, because why would they drop a trailer and then, have another trailer at State of Play? I think if they are going to be, I would think honestly, they might just play that trailer, just throw that in there and be like, yeah, don't forget, we're also coming out. Maybe reveal us like a tidbit of new information. I don't know. But another big game that I hope and pray, I think about it almost every day, and I don't even mean that sarcastically. I'm 100% serious. We could get some Final Fantasy 16 information, and when I say we could, I mean please. Please give me some more Final Fantasy 16 news. I want it so bad. And so it would be awesome if we got some Final Fantasy 16 news, or even some Final Fantasy 7 remake news. I don't know. Just give me some Final Fantasy news. That would make the entire State of Play for me. I don't care what else showed. Just give me Final Fantasy stuff. But that is supposed to come tonight at 5. Be sure to watch it if you're interested. And with that, we've got some game delays, and I'm very sad about it. It makes me very, very upset. But Gran Turismo 7 has been delayed into 2022. Let me find the statement they gave. So they said GT7 has been impacted by COVID-related production challenges and therefore will shift from 2021 to 2022. With the ongoing pandemic, it's a dynamic and changing situation, and some critical aspects of game production have been slowed over the past several months. We'll share more specifics on GT7's release date when available. So another big anticipated game has been pushed out of 2021, which is very sad. There is one more, but before we get into that, we'll get into some good news, which is PlayStation VR 2 has been confirmed. They didn't confirm that was the name, because honestly it sounds kind of dumb, so I kind of hope they don't go with that. But yeah, we got some confirmation. They confirmed that it will not be coming this year, which I'm not super surprised, but I also wasn't going to be surprised if we got it this year. But yeah, they confirmed it's not coming this year, but they are working on it, and it will connect to the... Here's the most important thing for me. It connects to the PS5 with a single cord to simplify setup and improve ease of use, while enabling a high-fidelity visual experience. The worst thing about PSVR is the stupid processing box that I have to hook up every time. It is a nightmare. The biggest reason I do not use my PSVR more, especially before I got a PC VR headset, is setting up that stupid thing and dealing with all the wires. It was a nightmare. It was stupid, and I hated it. And so I am so happy that this next one has been confirmed to not have any of that. I mean, I expected it. I was going to be pissy if they did do that again. But it's nice to hear that they are getting rid of that. Also, it confirms that it's not wireless. I mean, maybe we'll get a wireless form. Maybe we can get like a deluxe version, or like somewhere down the line they make like a wireless adapter. I could definitely see that. But yeah, so it seems like it's not going to be wireless, which I don't think is the biggest deal. I mean, we see some of the biggest PC headsets out there still being wired. I mean, there are some wireless options, but it's pretty pricey. And I think the big thing about PlayStation VR is affordability, because, it was the cheapest VR system on the market when it came out. And so I think that's a big thing for them as well. But They're also coming out with a new PSVR controller, and so thank God, because I don't like the PlayStation Move controllers either. So it seems like they're fixing the biggest issues with PSVR, and that makes me happy. So we got confirmation. It is coming. Hopefully next year. But yeah. Now, with some, again, bad news. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 has been delayed out of 2021. And it's also getting a new developer. So, let me see here. I want to read the full thing, but it's not pulled up for me, so I'm loading it here. But
I have a question before you go on. We need to make a bet. So like, we need to make a bet on something because I need a not a PS5 VR. I need a PC VR. So what you want to bet on something that I can get a PC VR? Because I kind of want an Oculus.
So what am I betting on?
I don't know. We just need to bet on something that I know I'll win on.
Oh, so you want me to buy you a PC VR headset?
Yeah.
Got you.
In a roundabout way.
Awesome. Okay, so let's say, let me think of this. I will bet you an Oculus. Do you want a Quest or a Rift?
Whatever's cheaper.
All right, I will buy you an Oculus Quest 2 if Donald Trump wins in 2024.
That's so funny. Come on. Something sooner.
Okay.
Something sooner. That is so far away.
Okay, I will give you an Oculus Quest 2 if COVID is eradicated by the end of this year.
What does eradicated mean? Gone?
Yes.
Like poop?
If we get rid of COVID by the end of 2020, or 2021, I will give you an Oculus Quest 2. Cause it's so easy for you, cause y'all you go bull riding without masks and stuff, so it's obviously not around, right? So that's so easy.
Right, exactly. I haven't.
But you know, if this is a bet, cause you said this was a bet, so if this is a bet, that means you have to get me an Oculus Quest 2. If it doesn't,
no.
that's the terms. That's how a bet operates, dude.
No, I might as well.
Dude.
I thought we were doing a one-way bet.
Oh, so you mean me purchasing something? Because that's not a bet. That's just me buying you something.
Yeah.
Besides, I already told you I would get you Mass Effect, so there you go. I'm already getting you something for my birthday.
For your birthday?
Yeah, it comes out 4 days after my birthday. So
all right,
my birthday present is me buying you a game, so you're welcome. But
okay, then I got this. What you can do is you can get me a VR for my birthday.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
and then what will you get me for my birthday?
How much are Quests? Like $300?
Yeah, they start at 300.
I'll get you. What games have you wanted? I'll get you a few games, a few 30 to 40 games. It might be late, but
you'll buy me 30 to 40 video games?
Maybe not that much. Just
okay.
I'll get you a few video games.
Sounds good. Okay.
Make a list.
Deal. All right. Because honestly, your birthday is the time where I'll actually probably have some money to be able to actually get you a Quest, so I could probably legitimately do that. But
and then I'll just give me a few games that you want, and I'll get them for you.
All right, bet.
It might just be a bit, but I'll get it for you.
Sounds good. So, back to this Bloodlines announcement.
All
their thing, they said, as you have noticed, we've been keeping pretty quiet for a while. With this in mind, the first piece of news we have for you is to confirm that Bloodlines 2 is still in development. First off, what a way to start this. I mean, nobody really thought this game was getting canceled, but they're like, hey guys, we're still working on this. Like, that tells you a lot about how the game development is going. Secondly, we have made the hard decision that Hardsuit Labs will no longer be leading the development of Bloodlines 2, which also means that we will not be releasing in 2021 as previously planned. Since we cannot at this time communicate a new release date, we've also decided to stop accepting pre-orders for the time being. This game is very important to us, and it has been an ambitious project from the very start. In order to meet our goals for it, we've come to the conclusion that a change is needed, and as a result, more development time is required. We'd like to take this opportunity to honor Hardsuit Labs for their efforts and thank them for their hard work on the project. The studio has done a tremendous job in laying the foundations for the game, and we hope that you, the community, will also appreciate their contribution to Bloodlines 2. We're thankful for your continuous support throughout the game's development. We understand how important this is to you, and we'd love to share more with you. As soon as we can, we'll let you know what the future development team of Bloodlines 2 will look like. So, I mean, in terms of, delays, this one really sucked. The way it was presented, they basically shot themselves with this entire announcement. Like, the way they worded it, it just gives off complete, like, hey, this game is going terribly. And so not only is it not coming anytime soon, we are completely shifting development, which really breaks my heart because I didn't care about this game when it was first announced, but then all of the coverage leading up to, like, now has gotten me super excited for the game. Like, I never played the first one. I have always been interested in all of the big vampire games coming out, which that makes it sound like there's a lot, but there have been a few notable ones, but they've always kind of like not been super great. And so, but it's gotten me wishing for a good vampire game. And so when this was announced and, we saw some gameplay, we saw some footage, all these cinematic trailers they've put out and everything, it's gotten me super excited as for a meaty vampire RPG. Like, it's gotten me really excited. And now it's like switching developers, getting delayed for the second time out of this. Like, it was supposed to come out in 2020. Then they said, nope, it's coming in 2021. Now they're saying, nope, it's coming eventually. And it's just like, man. And it sucks because it's all the games that I get super excited for that get delayed out of, like, anywhere. Like Dying Light 2, I was so excited. And now we have no idea when that game is coming out. And there was actually a report this week that apparently there's a really, really hostile work environment going on. And so it's making development super slow. So it's like, all the games I'm so excited for are just getting washed away. And it makes me very sad. But, yeah. So, that's the thing. Now, finally, let's talk about some semi-good stuff, because there's some really cool things and some really not cool things, and that was BlizzCon 2021. Let's talk about that. I did a live reaction on Twitch because I had a lot of fun with the Nintendo Direct, which also, I forgot to mention, I am also going to be live reacting to tonight's State of Play, so check out my Twitch at PandaMaster Twitch, because I'll be doing that. That'll be fun. But, yeah, overall, the BlizzCon, this online presentation, the opening ceremony itself sucked. There were some good bits. I really liked the Diablo stuff, but most of it sucked, and it was really stupid, and it was basically them trying to say, hey, we're not terrible people, please look at us, we care about you. Like, no, you care about everybody except people from Hong Kong. That's actually not even true either. You don't care about anybody, you just care about money. But whatever. So yeah, it was basically them just trying to convince people that they were a good company. It was literally a Blizzard advertisement, which, I mean, you could make the argument that all of these press conferences are essentially advertisements for their company, but it was so, like, I don't want to say egotistical, but it just was dumb. It was really dumb. But there were some interesting announcements. First off, Blizzard Arcade Collection was announced. This got leaked the day before, but it features the Lost Vikings, Blackthorn, and Rock and Roll Racing. Their big arcade stuff from the 90s. It's out now on PC and consoles. World of Warcraft Shadowlands patch 9.1 Chains of Domination was announced. No, this is not a porno. This is more WoW. And I don't know anything else about WoW, so there you go. They also announced that they would be making the Burning Crusade Classic, which also got leaked. So we got World of Warcraft Classic in 2019, I think. And now we're getting the Burning Crusade expansion Classic. So that was cool. I like that. If I do ever get into World of Warcraft, I feel like that's the way to do it. Hearthstone Forged in Barrens expansion and Mercenaries mode was revealed. This I actually liked. I'm not a huge Hearthstone guy, but I do enjoy it. I'm just really bad at it. And this made me want to go back in. So they're adding new single player content and, of course, new expansions and all that with some cool stuff. And they also, it sounds like they're kind of making like a classic mode to make it like where it's like, it will then feature ways to like only play with like just the original packs and everything. So it's very welcoming for new players such as myself because, like I said, I've played but never extensively. And so it actually got me excited and it made me want to boot up Hearthstone. So yeah, some kind of cool stuff with Hearthstone. Then we got the Diablo things, and I really like Diablo. And so Diablo 4 got a rogue class trailer, which is dope, and I've been thinking about her ever since, and I honestly think I might run with a rogue when I play this game because it looked dope and I love her, and yeah, give me more of that. Then, as I mentioned earlier, Diablo 2 Resurrected was announced. It looks phenomenal, and it's coming out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and Nintendo Switch later this year. I'm very, very excited about that. And then we got some Overwatch 2 details. This wasn't during the opening ceremony itself, but there was a big deep dive into it afterwards that I watched, and it was my favorite part of BlizzCon. It wasn't even in the opening ceremony because they gave a bunch of new details that I wasn't expecting. They showed off 2 new maps, which there's a New York City map, and it looks awesome. We got some new campaign details. We got Hero Missions mode announced, which looks really cool, and it's like what Avengers should have done. We've got some changes to PvP. There's a ton of attention to detail in this sequel. So, like, they're changing up the audio. So, depending on your location, each gun sounds differently. So, if you're shooting in an indoor environment, it's going to sound more echoey, or, like, it's going to sound as it would if you were in a building versus outside in a big open environment versus outside in an urban environment. Like, they literally recorded weapon sounds, like real world weapon sounds in different environments, and then plucked them into this game. So the audio has been overhauled, which, chef's kiss. They're also experimenting with passive role perks. So, like, healers constantly have regenerative health, and like tanks, what is it? Tanks have decreased knockback damage. So they're experimenting with that sort of stuff, and just they've been tinkering a lot with the PvP, and it looks really cool and exciting. And yeah, I'm very excited for Overwatch 2. I love Overwatch, so this interview was really interesting. If you are into Overwatch at all, I would highly suggest watching the deep dive. There's a lot of really interesting stuff going on there. No release date, unfortunately, but, you know, they basically said it'll be ready when it's ready. And they also confirmed in an interview with IGN that they are going to have, like, closed betas, alphas, that sort of stuff, so there will be a chance to play Overwatch 2 early if you keep your ears to the ground and, you know, listen up, all that stuff. But, you know, so be looking out for that if you're interested. But yeah, so that was the BlizzCon stuff. Anyway, I don't know, Trace, have you ever played a Blizzard game? I feel like they aren't your forte.
A Blizzard game? Not
Yeah.
that I know of.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but, you know, had to figure out. So let's look at the games coming this week. Out today is Ghost and Goblins Resurrection. Watch as this nostalgic yet completely reimagined storybook world unravels before your very eyes, taking cues from both Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts, and giving birth to something entirely new. Resurrection is a title worthy of its name. So, I most likely won't pick this up at launch, but I do plan on picking it up eventually. It looks really cool. I really dig the art style. I know some people don't, like some of the original fans, but I think it looks really cool. I have the original with the new Capcom Arcade Collection because it was given away free. But I haven't had the time to test it out yet. I did play some Project Triangle Strategy, aka the worst named thing ever, and, you know, I really like it. I really dig it a lot, even though it's hard as hell. But yeah, I played that. I played the demo of that, but I haven't gotten around to trying out the Arcade Collection yet. But yeah, I heard this game. I've heard really good things about it. Again, I dig the art style. Really cool stuff if you're into sort of the retro games era, like NES era type stuff. Then tomorrow, we got the big boy. Bravely Default 2 is coming exclusively to Nintendo Switch. Explore a new world as you fight for survival with your customized team of heroes in the Bravely Default 2 game, a strikingly beautiful RPG adventure. Balance risk and reward in turn-based battles with the Brave and Default commands. So, I'm wrestling with myself if I want to pick this one up on day one. I'm very upset that the reviews still haven't dropped yet. I expected them to be out by today, but they still aren't, at least at time of recording. I am. So I'm very interested. So yeah, I'm wrestling with myself if I want to pick this one up. But yeah, it is coming. So for my Bravely Default fans, it's your day. Then on Tuesday, we've got Harvest Moon One World for PS4 and Nintendo Switch, trek across beaches, the desert, and even a volcano, and the latest entry into the long-running Harvest Moon series. The Harvest Goddess has gone missing, and it's up to you to help bring her back. Along the way, you'll come across cows, sheep, camels, and even reindeer. Dig in, because this game, the world, is literally your oyster. Would you like to explore this oyster, Trace?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Harvest Moon One World, pick it up on Tuesday. Then we've got Trace's most anticipated game of 2021, Monster Jam Steel Titans 2 for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. That is coming Tuesday. More trucks, new worlds, Monster Jam Steel Titans 2. Monster Jam Steel Titans 2 features more fan-favorite trucks in brand new Monster Jam worlds.
Wait, hang on. Don't move or don't say anything. I'm going to go grab a Monster Jam game that I have for my PS4.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I knew. Like, well, I'm going to... Now it's my turn to stall, but that's why I said this is Trace's most anticipated game of 2021. You know, I knew he was a big Monster Jam fan. I know he loves his big trucks, and so I figured that this would be something for him.
All right, it's called Monster Jam Crush It.
Yep. There you go.
Wait.
So here you go. You got another Monster Jam game, Trace.
But the only thing that sucks with Monster Jam Crush It is the fact that it's like all you can do is go on a track and you can't even go into like a real arena. So that's why I don't play it anymore.
Well, that is not the same here in Monster Jam Steel Titans 2, so this is the game for you, buddy. There you go.
Can I go in arenas and break cars?
Probably. I don't know. I don't care about Monster Jam, but
I do.
So there you go. Look it up. It's on Steam. But
oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And so then we finally are getting the PS5 version of Yakuza Like a Dragon on Tuesday. Ichiban Kasuga, a low-ranking grunt of a low-ranking Yakuza family in Tokyo, faces an 18-year prison sentence after taking the fall for a crime he didn't commit. Never losing faith, he loyally serves his time and returns to society to discover that no one was waiting for him on the outside, and his clan has been destroyed by the man he respected most. This is a really, really cool, turn-based JRPG that I've heard really good things about and I've been wanting to play. And so I think I might pick this one up because, you know, I was originally going to play this on Xbox, but I still haven't. And so I think I might pick this up on PS5. But I'm really excited for that.
I'm good on the game. It looks like it's just a racing game. It doesn't even look like it's a track, like a whatever you want to call it. It doesn't look like it's a oh my goodness, I can't think of what it's called. It doesn't look like it's a free roam game. There we go.
Hold up. Let me see. It's got online multiplayer. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, but it's just.
Let's see. They have 5 all-new Monster Jam worlds, dude. You can compete just like the pros in 12 authentic stadiums and game modes inspired by the real-world shows, dude.
Okay, but you can't go into arenas and run over cars.
Bruh,
it's a race.
Bruh, you can drive
around.
Higher Education, Sparkle Smash, and Gravedigger.
I knew you could drive Gravedigger. I've seen that. And you can drive Zombie. And the cool bus.
It's pretty dope, dude. It's pretty dope, dude.
Dude, you can't free roam.
Dude.
It's just...
Dude. It's pretty dope, dude.
Okay, dude.
Play Monster Jam Steel Titans 2, dude.
I'll try it, dude.
Alright, dude. Cool, dude. So, finally, instead of talking about the games we've been playing this week, we're going to talk about the games we've been playing this week, but more. So, this is a new segment that I like to call Off Hours. Very original, I know. But I figured instead of just talking about games, we could also just talk about the media, you know, in general that we'd like to talk about this week. So something I forgot to put on the outline, and I realized as we were filming this podcast, is that, you know, like I said, I played the Project Triangle strategy demo, and I really dig it a lot. I think people who love tactical RPGs will absolutely fall in love with this game. It's got a heck of a lot of story. It really reminds me of Fire Emblem Three Houses in all the best ways. And yeah, I'm very excited to see more of this game. I haven't finished the demo yet, actually, so there is more I have yet to play. There's actually a solid chunk of gameplay there. I've played it for maybe like an hour, and I haven't finished yet, so props to them. But I also haven't picked up the Bravely Default 2 demo yet either. And, you know, now we're getting to the point where it's about to be out. But yeah, so I haven't had a lot of time. But I've been playing a bunch of Valheim, and I love Valheim. I know we talked about it a lot last week, but I raided my first 3 dungeons. I think all of them were yesterday. And it's just a fun time. I love, you know, getting experienced enough where you can take on these increasingly more difficult foes and explore new areas, and it's a hecking good time, and I like it a lot. I fought my first ghost. I didn't know ghosts were in the game, but yeah, I fought a ghost. Ghosts and Goblins? Pff, never heard of her. Valheim. Let's do it. But yeah, I love Valheim a lot. And then, like I said, I watched the premiere of Superman and Lois. It's a great show, although it has some issues behind the scenes. One of the writers got fired for apparently bringing up claims that the show was sexist and racist. And it's been 3 months, and the crew still hasn't acknowledged it. And so it makes an ethical dilemma for me, because I think the show is really, really good. I really liked it, but you know, I'm unsure about all of that stuff. The fact that they haven't even addressed it is very worrisome. And so I don't know. And then I've been watching The Expanse every single day, literally every day for the past like 3 weeks. I've been watching The Expanse, and I just started season 3 today, and I love it so much. I declare the entire universe folly to Bobby Draper, who is the best character in the universe, and I would love to make my wife someday. And so, all hail Bobby Draper supremacy. That's all that matters in the world. But meanwhile, Trace has just been being a crackhead. He doesn't need to speak on it. You know, that's about, you know, all that matters there. And with that, I think we're good this week. We've wrapped up. We did it. We made it through another week of gaming, another week of fun, another
week of coronavirus,
another week of corona, that fake Chinese flu, and here we go. I've been having fun with y'all today, and we're having a good time. Thank you all for watching, /listening, whatever. Make sure to follow us over on Game Patrol YouTube. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. I'm sure I'm sure some lovely fellers will be able to direct you. And so thank you, Trace, for coming on here. Always a pleasure. Merca first. And I guess I'll see y'all next week. And so I would say adios amigos, but you know, America first, so bye, friends.